Today on Public Eye News, multiple casualties after a shooting at a Louisville bank. We'll have the developing story. Later, preparations for tax day next week.
Amy Doyle will have your weather going into the week, and Brad Seabrook will have your sports recap. I'm Ava Sahoyan.
And I'm Reed Hall, and this is Public Eye News. We start this afternoon with the developing story out of Louisville, Kentucky, where police have confirmed 4 people were killed in an early morning shooting. The suspect, who has not yet been identified, began shooting a long rifle at around 8:30 this morning inside a back conference room of the Old National Bank in downtown Louisville. In addition to the 4 casualties, police did confirm at least 9 others were injured, including 2 responding police officers. One of the police officers and another wounded victim remain in critical condition at this time, while 3 others have already been discharged. Louisville Metro Police Department Deputy Chief Paul Humphrey told reporters officers arrived on scene to active gunshots still being fired inside the bank, in which officers then exchanged gunfire with the shooter. The shooter, believed to be a former employee of the bank, was killed at the scene, but it is still unclear how he died. Public Eye News will be following this story as it develops. And in downstate Michigan, police have arrested 3 people in connection to a Monroe woman's death. 23-year-old Kayla Sadowski was found deceased on March 3rd in the abandoned Boysville Juvenile Center in Frenchtown Township. Back in March, Paulette Pashani, who adopted Sadowski as a child, believes Sadowski's ex-boyfriend was harassing her. As of today, Michigan State Police announced the arrest of the 3 individuals and that 2 of the suspects have been charged with murder and conspiracy to commit homicide, while the 3rd suspect is still awaiting arraignment. The names of the 3 suspects have yet to be released.
After a Texas judge's ruling against abortion medication mifepristone, the nation's top health officials publicly announced the decision, calling the ruling, quote, not American. Xavier Becerra, President Biden's health secretary, told CNN that the administration wishes to overturn this decision and provide safe medical care to women around the country. In Texas, federal judge Matthew Kacsmaryk ruled against federal approval of the FDA-approved drug mifepristone, popularly known as the abortion pill. The pill was previously approved by the FDA in 2000. Kacsmaryk's order gives the government 7 days to appeal. Critics, such as Becerra, say that the Texas ruling could have major ramifications for the legality of any FDA-approved drug, such as vaccines, insulin, or other new treatments coming into the market, as it challenges the precedent of the FDA's approval process. The Biden administration has said that it will appeal the decision, although no formal appeal has been filed. And gas prices in Michigan have increased to above the national average after major oil producers announced cuts in oil production. The average price per gallon is now $3.62, an increase of 10 cents from about a week ago. Marquette County currently holds the most expensive state average at $3.70 per gallon. AAA predicts that prices may continue to rise. However, AAA and other gasoline industry analysts don't expect gas prices to rise to those seen last summer, which reached higher than $5 per gallon in some regions. Production cuts in Saudi Arabia, which are announced to extend from May to the end of this year, as well as the continued conflict in Russia and Ukraine, are leading to the price jumps ahead of the summer travel season. And a Wisconsin community is reeling after the death of 2 police officers. Adam Duxter has a story from Cameron, Wisconsin.
An Easter service.
The only way we get through today is together.
With a heavy heart.
I knew this was going to be hard. I didn't know it was going to be this hard.
Pastor Ned Lenhart giving the sermon.
Most of us pastors have been working on a message for many days because we want to say just the right thing.
They will leave with a better understanding.
Then something like this happens the day before, and you realize that what you were planning to say no longer fits.
Just down the road from this Cameron congregation Saturday, one person killed 2 police officers in a shootout, one from Chautauqua and one from Cameron. Not long after, that person died too. One of those officers has ties to this church.
A tragedy like this is something you don't see coming, and it's so awful, it's so terrible, that there aren't words to describe it. The pain is so deep, and because we're a small community, we're all connected to each other. So when one of us hurts, when one of us is in pain, everybody feels the pain.
Pain.
But we're going to go through stages. We're going to feel pain. We're going to feel grief. There may be anger. There's going to be all kinds of emotions, and that's okay.
This church doesn't plan on facing alone.
There's brokenness everywhere, and there's pain everywhere. And as a community of faith, What we do is we pray for everyone.
Adam Duxter, for WCCO News.
Now don't touch that dial. We'll be right back with your weather and national news after this break.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, heirloom surprises revealed.
That's astonishing. Just my great-grandmother's old cards.
I hope my daughters are going to be interested in it enough to pass it on down through the generations.
I'll say your great-great-great-grandfather looks like Paul McCartney, even with the British haircut, right?
It's Antiques Roadshow, next time from the Idaho Botanical Garden in Boise.
Monday night at 8 on WNMU-TV.
Hey there, I'm Amy Doyle and I have your weather update for you today. So taking a look at the SkyCam here, it is a great day for the students to get out and break out the books outside or study for their exams or even go for a hike. We've got a lot of sun and you can't see it on camera, but fresh air. Over here at Houghton, we've got a partly sunny, a little bit of clouds here, 57, 62 in Ironwood here, 63 and sunny in Iron Mountain. Taking a look at Escanaba and Menominee, we've got 64 full sun in Menominee, Escanaba 57 with a little bit of sun poking out there. And current conditions, we've got it's sunny at 67, winds coming out of the west-southwest at 10 miles an hour. That barometric pressure is 30 inches and falling. Tonight we've got mostly cloudy with a low of 47, winds out of the west-southwest at 14 miles per hour. And looking ahead to tomorrow, we've got mostly cloudy, a little bit of sun poking out there maybe in the afternoon with a high of 53, a low of 45, and winds out of the northeast at 5 miles an hour. And then looking ahead later this week, we've got Wednesday, 64 and sunny. We can look forward to some more sun there. Thursday, a high of 54, a little bit of sun poking out, low of 38. And Friday, 62 degrees, possibly a little sun poking out, and a low of 37. And that's all I have for your weather update. Back to your national news.
Thanks for that weather update, Amy. Turning to more national news, in Nashville, one of the two black Democrats who was thrown out of the Tennessee House last week appears likely to get a seat back after the GOP voted to oust the lawmakers who called for more gun control. Justin Jones could return to the House immediately by the Nashville Metro Council when it votes to fill the vacant position. The other ousted lawmaker, Justin Pearson, could also be reappointed Wednesday at a meeting of the Shelby County Commission in his district. Both lawmakers were expelled from the House by the Republican supermajority for their role in a gun control protest in the Capitol following the aftermath of the Covenant school shooting in Nashville. Both lawmakers and a third Democrat, Gloria Johnson of Knoxville, who also faced expulsion, attracted national attention this past week in what has become a battle for the future of American democracy. Johnson, a white lawmaker who was spared expulsion by a singular vote, suggested race was likely a factor in the decisions. And thousands of Rutgers faculty went on an unprecedented strike today, the first job action in the school's 257-year history. 3 unions, which represent 9,000 Rutgers staff members, went on strike this morning as they demand salary increases, better adjunct faculty job security, and guaranteed funding for grad students, among other things. Classes were still being held today. However, many students reported that their classes had been canceled. According to union officials, those working at medical and other health science schools will continue performing essential research and patient care, but will restrict all other duties not impacting patient health and safety. Officials said negotiations would continue today as the two sides are expected to meet at Democratic Governor Phil Murphy's office at noon. Rutgers President Jonathan Holloway said yesterday he believes the two sides were close to an agreement, while union officials said an agreement did not appear to be near. And tax day is just around the corner. If you haven't filed, now is the time to jump to action. CBS's Michael George had the chance to sit down with one tax professional who has some advice for filers.
Dottie Pfister has been helping people with their taxes since the early 70s. Some of her clients now are the children and grandchildren of previous customers.
It's like old friends coming in, really, because they've seen me for so many years. Like, they come in, they're ready to hug me, kiss me. You know, Dottie, we've been waiting to hear from you.
This H&R Block Pro has seen it all, and she's warning her clients to set their expectations lower this year. The IRS reports average refunds are 11% less compared to last year, primarily due to the end of pandemic-era tax credits.
The big change, of course, is the lowering of the child tax credit, and of course there's no more gift like we got last year, which was like a big $1,400 to a lot of people.
Charitable donations also have to be itemized this year. If you're filing at the last minute, Dottie says remember to bring all of your important documents into your tax professional. The IRS provides free online assistance to people with a gross income of under $73,000 a year, and ask to get your refund through direct deposit.
Mailboxes, unfortunately, are not as safe as they used to be. So, I mean, if somebody asks what I suggest, I always suggest direct deposit.
Dottie handled 600 returns last year, and she's not slowing down.
Any thoughts of ever retiring?
Nope. I'm here for the duration. I kid my clients. I tell them I'm going to put a table at the gates of heaven. Nobody's going to get in unless they've done their taxes.
Here on Earth, it'll be a busy week as she helps people try to beat the April 18th deadline. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
After this break, Brad will have a look at your sports recap. You won't want to miss it. Stay tuned.
On the next Legacy List with Matt Paxton. Matt is in the Hamptons.
Come inside.
To help a mother downsize a large family house and barn filled with heirlooms and antiques.
Look at this.
How cool is that?
What is that?
Is any of this stuff yours?
Oh, wow.
You don't have to keep everything to celebrate the past.
Tonight at 9.
Welcome back. I'm Brad Seaborg, and I'll have your sports update. Starting off in the world of golf, after a 30-hole marathon on Sunday, Jon Rahm won the 87th Masters tournament. Rob entered Sunday trailing by 4 shots with 12 holes still to play from the rain-delayed third round. After making up 2 shots across the end of his third round, he started the fourth round paired against then-leader Brooks Koepka. Koepka, who was among the golfers who made headlines when they chose to move to the LIV Golf Tour last summer. The LIV versus PGA debate was one that loomed over the tournament as the Masters was the first event in which players from the 2 tours would face off. The anticipation for a battle between the premier players of each tour was quickly dampened after a slow start from Koepka that saw 3 bogeys and 0 birdies on the front 9. Koepka would surrender the lead and finish tied for second with his LIV compatriot Phil Mickelson. Rahm became the 4th player from Spain to win the Masters. And the Quinnipiac Bobcats are national hockey champions for the first time in program history. The Bobcats defeated the Minnesota Golden Gophers just 10 seconds into overtime in a game that Minnesota led with less than 3 minutes remaining. Quinnipiac head coach Rand Pecknold, who was in his 29th season leading the Bobcats, finally captured the elusive title after 2 previous title game defeats. After going down 2-0 in the second and pulling one back before the start of the third, the Bobcats dominated the third period, outshooting the Gophers 14-2. The Gopher defense was finally broken with 2:57 left in regulation after the Bobcats pulled their goalie while already on a power play for a 2-man advantage. This game was the first national title to go into overtime since 2011 when Minnesota Duluth defeated Michigan also by a score of 3-2. And the NMU Wildcats outdoor track season is off to a good start after earning 4 podium positions at the Golden Grizzlies Invitational in Rochester, Michigan. The Cats took 2nd and 3rd in the 100-meter hurdles, where Crystal Walker finished 2nd with a 14.39, and Elise Wolfrath right behind her for a 14.77 for 3rd. Walker also found the podium in the long jump, where her 5.82-meter leap was good enough for 3rd. The other medal winner for the Wildcats was Maddie Szymanski, earning 3rd in the 5,000 with a time of 17 minutes, 42 seconds, and 77 hundredths. Making their outdoor collegiate debut for the Wildcats, Teola Harvey, who finished 4th in javelin. Next up for the Wildcats is the Tiffin Track Carnival in Tiffin, Tiffin, Ohio, April 14th and 15th. That's all I've got for sports. Back to you at the news desk.
Thank you, Brad. How about the weather we're having today? It's super warm out there.
It's fantastic, yeah.
Are you going to get out and hike maybe? Go for a stroll along the beach?
Oh, for sure, yeah. Probably go walk around Little Presque, just get some of that sun in. And that is all the time we have for you today. Thank you so much for joining us at Public Eye News. I'm Ava Sahoyan.
And I'm Reed Hall.
And we'll see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.